All right, so we're on to the next big boy toy. We are going to compare a plain Jane 200 to a very integrated 250, correct?
You got it.
So what is the difference? I say plain Jane, I don't know the lingo or all of the proper terms, but what is the difference between the plain Jane and the integrated?
So the plain Jane is what we've had for a number of years across any product line. And that's going to be your standard hydraulics with pilot control, so hydraulic lines go into your main control valve. And it doesn't have any technology in the cab. It's got our traditional 4-button joysticks. You could have what we call an auxiliary circuit. We call it X1 circuit, but
okay,
this one does have it on there. We don't have anything hooked up to it.
I understand.
But there's no what they call machine control or machine guidance. This is, you know how to operate, you dig the hole you want in.
And what happens if you don't know how to operate? I've been in a machine enough that I know how to operate it,
right.
But when it comes to fine-tune work, what he is explaining there is if I was digging a ditch over there and I needed it to start low and end high, I have to do that in this machine.
You'll have to figure it out. You'll probably
whereas in that machine, it can tell you where you are to ensure that you start low and end high.
So on this one, if you were to dig, we'll say a trench that starts off 8 feet down and it has a 10% grade as you come up towards you. You would rough it out, then you'd probably stop if you're a one-man show. You'd set up a laser and get a laser stick and you would check all your depths.
Get the grade rod set up and check it.
Yeah, and you might mark certain places where you need to go higher or lower, get back in and re-dig it, recheck again until you get it right. Whereas a 2D system, which is our basic system,
which is that machine over there.
Yeah. Dig Assist started as a 2D system, so you could actually just touch the ground with the teeth, bench it, and say, I want to go 8 feet below this point at a 10% grade, and you'll have a light bar on the screen. You can have audible warnings, just like your laser grade stick, and you'll have visuals.
Okay.
So all those to tell you where you're at any given moment. So when you're 6 feet down, you'll see it. When you're 7 feet down, you'll see it. You'll actually have a green light bar on the side. When you finally get to 8 feet down, as you hold that grade up, all you need to do is stay in the green.
Okay.
You don't have to watch, I call it the cartoon, it's an animation of the excavator on the side. You don't have to watch that, you just see the light bar on the side. As long as you keep pulling green, you're on the grade that
green
you
is good.
Absolutely.
Well, let's hop in this 200 and see if we can do it the old school way.
You got it.
See if we can dig a flat ditch maybe. So again, everybody that has watched my channel, the only thing I've ever ran is a 140. I have never ran anything larger than a 140, and the 140 was very similar to this. It was a 140 EL, and I think it was more of the plain Jane. It did have a thumb, it had some auxiliary features,
but no machine control.
But no machine guidance or control whatsoever.
They call the traditional display, which you have your RPMs and everything.
And you called this one somewhat of a bird's eye view, right?
Yep.
You kind of just see straight down, you can see the front of the bucket, and you can see all the way around the machine.
Yep. I'll get down and I'll walk around real quick.
Okay. So basically 360 degrees around the machine, you guys can see if there's anything around you. So we call it plain Jane, however it does still have cameras.
Absolutely.
And you can still see everything that you need to. So if I was to go to swing right now and he was standing there, I'd at least be able to see. Does it have the feature where it says, hey, you're getting too close to that object? Since it's plain Jane, I'm assuming it does not.
Not yet.
Okay. Excellent. Well, let's get over here and start tearing up some mud and seeing what we can do. All right, let's see what this plain Jane machine has to offer. Keep in mind, we gotta fix everything we tear up. Travel is very smooth. Let's get you guys tipped down a little bit more. Looks like we're a little tall on the outer outlet, deep on the backside, so we're going to skimp a little bit here. Meticulously remove this very sticky material. That's a little being a plain Jane machine, I would call that very smooth, very efficient, very effective. Yes, we've got a small bucket on here, 2-foot bucket, so we're just digging ditches. We're not moving a whole lot of material. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over and hop in the 250 and see how much different a more integrated machine runs compared to a plain Jane machine. Let's try that one. All right, so we went from the smaller machines, plain Jane, a lot more integrated, to a brand new machine. This is a 550 EL. It is the biggest excavator they have here that we can operate. There is a 900 series sitting over there, but it is sold. So we get to have some fun and dig probably a great big hole with a 550. Let's see how this goes. So this machine here obviously has VOLVO Copilot. That is very similar to what was in the wheel loaders over there. We're going to start this machine up as it's a little cold out here. We get some heat rolling. Got the default panel down there. As you can see, everything is very similar there to the plain Jane machine. This is where all the different things come into play. There are a lot more buttons on these joysticks. We've got very similar, if not identical, features here. This does have grade assist on it. I don't know all of the specifics to this machine here. It's kind of one of those things, the keys was in it, I got in it, and we're gonna have some fun with it. So I don't know if I'm gonna use all of these options here, but we are going to have some fun and move some dirt. All right, guys, this machine does not have any place for me to put my magnetic base, so you're in my pocket. This might get a little interesting. We're gonna go back here and dig us a hole. This is the biggest machine I will have ever operated in my lifetime, so this is, you know, new for me. Big machine. We'll talk about all the features whenever the professional gets over here. Right now, we're just gonna have some fun. Sometimes you don't have to have all the bells and whistles to have fun. That's a big old bucket. Talk about moving some dirt. Holy cow. Sucker will flat. That was not a full bucket, obviously, but for a really big machine, it is rather smooth. I was kind of expecting this thing to be slow, not capable of moving quick. Well, I'm here to tell you, this thing is definitely not slow, and it's got all kinds of power. Definitely some harder material right there on that backside, but it pulls right through it with that great big bucket. See if we can be a little bit more meticulous with it and just kind of drag the teeth. Oh definitely fine tune with it, if you will. I mean, you know, we're talking about a tooth size down there that's probably 8 inches. And again, I'm on full throttle, so this is about the fastest and most jerky the machine's going to be, and we're not jerking around by no means. Again, as you guys know, I'm no expert in this stuff, but that sucker has got some power. Let's take this one and transfer it to our original hole. And then we'll take our loose dirt that we piled up on the other side and transfer it to this one and see how the swing is on this machine. It's definitely got some power. Golly, we're moving a lot of dirt. That's just so amazing to me. This machine here is electric over hydraulic, opposed to hydraulic lines running like you guys heard Matt speak to a minute ago. The other Matt, should I say. And obviously we're moving around a great big bucket here, so the side shift is, side swing's going to be a little bit less, but it's still got the power. I just find these great big machines so interesting. I mean, not very often do you get to sit in a machine this large and just play around with it and do whatever you want. Let's see if we can not take a hole out of the ground, get some material, and transfer it over here to where we created our low spot. Shove it all up underneath my track, so we're going to take small bites and then we'll smooth out our small bites here in just a minute. I tell you, I don't think I've ever moved that much material in one bucket full ever in my life. getting out there pretty far in our reach. See what it'll do. Yeah, that gets a little tougher out that far. Got one little hole left over there that we need to fill. Get closer to the machine and that side sweeping will work significantly better. Notice I'm a little more jerky, and that's that electric over hydraulic that I'm just not used to. That's me, not the machine, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Push too much dirt out. Out here and see if we can get that rock tipped over, fill in our hole a little bit right there. Take off our outside edge, roll it over. Man, you can move a lot of stuff with this thing. I can only imagine what this machine would be like if it had a thumb on it. Could you imagine the stuff that you could pick up? One little chunk out there we need to smooth out. Sure, this machine has great guidance and all that jazz, but we're gonna just have fun with this one, as you guys can see. Move a lot of dirt. We're gonna get over here in some a little bit siftier material. For as large as this machine is, it's still pretty nimble. I know it's a track machine, but this over here is a more gravelly material. Looks like I need to get some gravel under my track so that I'm not wobbling around as much. That should help. Oh yeah, there we go. might be gravelly on top, but it gets pretty rigid down in there. Gotta find the power spot in this machine to get that broke out of there. There we go. Look at all those big old rocks. Those are some pretty big boulders down in there.
Let me swipe.
Letting him know, let me swipe this back in our hole, and he's gonna come tell me about some cool features of this machine. Tell you, for a great big machine, it's you can control it. It's pretty controllable. He just showed me a pretty cool feature. You have this button here, which allows you to set it to where your tracking is now on the back side of the joystick. So this roller right here, if I move my finger on the roller one way or the other, we actually start to track, and one is forward, one is backwards. Left is backwards, right is forward, and then on the left joystick is actually turn. So that's turning left. As you can see, I'm pushing my finger, that's turning right. That's actually a really neat feature. And then another thing that he explained to me was, a lot of operators understand that when you're tracking and you're using your boom feature, we'll get out here to where I can actually show this to you guys. In the new Volvo machines, and again, you can still use your feet. I also have it in snail mode, and you can change that percentage, but if I click it up here to rabbit, which is fast speed, it goes back to the normal tracking speed of the machine. So what I wanted to show you guys also is, normally if you're tracking and you use your boom or your stick, your track speed changes. So, put you guys back in my pocket here. They actually have two separate hydraulic pumps, so I can track and boom, or stick out, or boom up, and my track speed does not change whatsoever. Same exact track speed, you don't lose any of that hydraulic availability. And that is because one motor controls the drive gears for the actual tracks, and then the other pump controls all the other hydraulics. So it's two separate things, whereas normally, or in some cases I should say, it is one pump for everything. So I find those features pretty interesting. Let's put this sucker back in creep mode, because that was way too fast. Now that I'll get off this pile here. Well, that there, folks, is the Volvo 550. It's a big machine, and it is pretty darn smooth for being as large as it is. Look at that, camera on camera. How are you doing today, sir? Are you ready to play?
Yeah, so you gonna explain how this thing works?
Yeah, it works just like every other excavator in the fleet, and you just go for it and you learn along the way.
I feel like we got guns pointed at one another.
I know
right
it.
now.
We do, don't we? You guys can't see his face. Now you can see his face. You gonna tell him what your channel is?
Cotton Top 3 is where I'm at there.
There you go.
So yeah, you're one of Dirt Perfect's buddies, right?
I am.
So come on, get your spiel out there, man. Tell us who you are. And
so I am NYA Millennial. NYA.
What the heck does
millennial.
that? What the heck does that mean?
That stands for not your average millennial.
I've been trying to figure that out since yesterday.
Because I am definitely not your average millennial. I'm not playing video games in my mom and dad's basement. I am married and I do have 3 children.
I hear you, man.
I own my own business. I have a YouTube channel. I do a lot of things. So that is why the channel was named, and DP did help with that, but that is why the channel was named.
Because you work with Dirt Perfect at Good Bit, right?
I do. I quote all of his jobs.
So you do all of his job quoting?
I do all of his job quoting, and I'm also a laborer for him, along with being an independent sales rep, which is my own business, and we raise Labrador Retrievers.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna run my camera right here.
Yeah, so this is new.
I want you to kind of explain stuff.
I have no clue what any of this does, nor honestly do I personally care.
Right.
Because I have never ran an excavator that's this large before.
Yeah.
So all I wanted to do was get in the biggest excavator they had.
They need to get the 950 over here.
I know, it's sold, so they can't.
So I guess you normally run like a 200, 250 size, stuff like that. That's what your biggest has probably been in.
The only Volvo piece of equipment that I have ran is a 140.
Okay.
So going from a 140 to the 200 series is over there.
Right.
Being the plain Jane and the integrated machine to a 550 that is integrated machine. It does not have the thumb option or anything like that, but it has a very large bucket on it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm here to tell you.
It's man stuff.
This is caveman stuff. We're moving big stuff here, buddy.
I call it sticker pecking out stuff, man.
There you go. There you go.
Feel free to use that anytime, dude, because when you're talking about stuff this big, it's good.
And you know what the best part about it is?
What's that, man?
We don't have to pay anything.
And we're burning fuel for free.
And we're burning fuel for free.
We shot 100 rounds of shotgun shells for free yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't get to do that because our flight was delayed and we missed. So
oh gosh,
that was my forte. I was ready for the pigeon shooting, but it didn't happen for me. So we're gonna let Cotton Top hop in here.
Well, no, I want you. So, what else? Did he show you how to work the controls?
He did, and I actually have it on right now.
Okay, so it's on, so it's activated.
So you can do either.
I bet you when
you can use your feet, or once you flip this up, you better grab a hold of something. Well, let's put it in turtle. Let's put it in. Make sure we're in turtle.
All right, I'm hanging on.
We're also in creep mode. So it says CDC enabled.
So it's still in creep mode.
It's in creep mode, and we're on 15%. Okay. So it's slow.
You got a roller on the
right joystick. I just explained this to my people. You roll it like this, and it will actually start tracking the machine for you. So I don't know if that's considered reverse or forward, but to the right is going to take you backwards right now.
Okay.
And to the left is going to take you forward.
Okay, I see how it works.
And that's on the right joystick. Now on the left joystick, left is literally turning left. And right is literally turning right. You got it.
Wow. So did you notice something? I've run up to a 700 series machine's the biggest one I've ever run. You know, they're big and they're powerful, but it's a lot different feel than like say a 200 or a 160 or right.
Yes, I agree. So what I noticed was with this one, with the smaller machines, you can lay your teeth flat and you can drag across the ground with a slight angle, and you can just cut. Well, the bucket is so large, I feel like you got to dig a little differently. You can't just cut unless you're cutting a bunch because you don't fill the bucket up. I had 2 half buckets and I was getting aggravated with myself. So then I started to just, dig like a novice and just get a big old bucket full, and then you lose your power. So there is a happy medium. I didn't ever find it, honestly, in this video, but I do believe you can find the happy medium.
It don't really help either that we're in probably the wettest clay.
It is some sticky, heavy, nasty stuff.
This stuff is heavy as can be, dude. I mean, it affects the way the machine runs a lot. I mean, if you want to pull the gonads out of one, this is where
you're going to do it. So I was explaining to them, I had the stick and the boom all the way out, and I was trying to swing to kind of feather the hole that I dug and the lumps that I had back out.
Right.
And I hit one clump and went, yeah. It's some sticky, nasty stuff.
I'm telling you, man.
Well, I'm gonna let you hop in here.
I wanted to get you on here, man. Where you
well,
get
I appreciate
some exposure
that.
and stuff, man.
You get some exposure on my channel as well.
Oh, yeah, cool beans, man.
It's all yours, buddy. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of Cotton Top's way here and let him play with the 550, but all in all, that's a huge machine. It's not the largest machine, but it's the largest one we can run today. And I tell you, it's very fluid, it's very smooth, and it's very capable. And man, can you move some dirt. So that's my overview on the 550. There were a lot of details that I didn't have. The guy with the details was at a different machine, so we're going to hop in another piece of equipment. All right, we are now in a 380 EL. We're gonna play with a medium size machine compared to that 550. Let's see how well this sucker digs. We're gonna get over here on the edge of the hill. All right, let's see how this sucker digs compared to everything else. Put you guys back in my pocket here. I know this is just, you know, same view you keep getting, but this is what I've got to work with today, so you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. So obviously someone has some settings that's a little bit slower in this machine, which means I'm gonna have a lot of power. Oh yeah, we got the power. I don't know who ran it last, but it must have been a shorter guy. We're gonna scoot this back a little bit. I'm too close to them joysticks. See if we can dig us a bench here. They've obviously got the side swing turned up. They've got the boom speed pretty good, but the bucket speed might be just a touch low. Maybe. Dig a little setback here. The goal to this is going to be to get our bank shaped back the way we started. Nice and flat on top with a slope on that back side. We're going to transfer different types of material to different sides of the bank here. See if we can do a good job at that. Might even try to drain the water that's behind us. swing does at the farthest reach that it's got. Oh, pretty good. That's not bad at all. Into that heavier material. Oh yeah. Got a nice swing to it. It's a quick machine. Some of this material that we got up close to us pushed away. Let's see how well it does in that arena. Got a big old rock right there. Trying to create a little low spot right there so that we can drain this water behind us. Machine is definitely responsive. Heck, you guys can't even see. My pocket ain't holding you very well this time. Snap our button back together here. That'll hold you guys a little tighter. close though. Need a little bit more out right there. I'm sure nobody cares about this water, but we're just playing with the 338 here. See if we can make a nice little trench for some water to leave in. We're cooking with peanut oil now. Like we got a little softer product right there. Starting to snow. Temperature did drop quite a bit. I assumed it was going to snow. Now let's see if we can get completely square with our ditch here, check our surroundings, make sure we're not going to hit anybody or anything and not mess up that ditch. How much further can we track? We're getting close to the edge, but we ain't that bad yet. There goes the water. Now we're draining it. Got one little spot here we might need to correct a little bit. Ooh, that's sleet too. Gonna make for a great day. Probably gonna have delayed flights again would be my guess. Now we're draining some water. Sending it right over the hill where it belongs. Let's pretty it up. This is just roughing stuff in. Nothing pretty. Nothing to see here. We're draining water, that's what matters. that was a little bit of fun in a 380. I said 388 I think earlier, but that's an EC380EL. Pretty nice machine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, like, comment, subscribe.